So you're listening to the deep dive, right? And you're probably thinking about how to grow your business or maybe just like improve your online store,
Yeah.
make it better for your customers.
Yeah.
So today we're going like way deep on this thing called headless commerce.
Okay.
And it might sound kind of technical, but it's actually like a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It could really change things for online businesses like yours.
It really could.
So basically what it boils down to is this, like, instead of having your online store be this like big clunky all-in-one thing,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually going to like split it up.
Yeah.
So the idea is like you have the front end, which is like what everyone sees, like the website and like the apps, all the pretty stuff that customers interact with.
Exactly. The customer-facing side.
Yeah. And then behind all that, you have like the back end, which is like the engine, that's
Right.
doing all the heavy lifting, all the product data and like the inventory and orders, all that stuff.
Yeah, all the complicated stuff behind the scenes.
Exactly. And the idea with headless commerce is that you like separate those two things.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the front end, the back end, they're split up. How do they actually talk to each other?
That's where the API comes in.
Okay, the API.
Application Programming Interface. And it's basically like the messenger between the two.
Got it.
So when you click on a product on the website, the API is what goes and fetches all the information about that product from the back end and brings it back to the front end.
Okay, so it's like this little digital bridge connecting the two?
Exactly. And that connection is super important because it allows the front end to be really flexible.
Okay, so I get the basic idea now.
Yeah.
But like, why would you even want to do this? It sounds like it could be more work or more complicated.
I know it might seem that way, but trust me, there are so many benefits.
Like what?
Well, first of all, think about design,
Okay.
With a traditional e-commerce platform, you're kind of stuck with their templates and their limitations.
Yeah.
But with headless commerce, you have so much more freedom. You can create a completely unique customer experience that's perfectly tailored to your brand.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about like adding new features? Like technology is always changing, so.
Exactly. And that's another huge benefit with headless commerce. It's super easy to integrate new technologies because the front end and back end are separate.
So like if I wanted to add something like augmented reality to my store,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that would be way easier with headless.
Way easier and faster, too.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the appeal here. So it's not just about aesthetics, it's about like being able to adapt and stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. And there's more,
Really?
Headless commerce can actually save you money in the long run.
Oh, how so?
Well, because you're not tied to a specific platform, you can often find more cost-effective solutions for your front-end development.
Interesting. Okay, and so like all of this is great for the business, but what about the customers? How does headless commerce benefit them?
Well, think about it this way. You know how frustrating it is when you're shopping online and the website is slow or clunky?
Oh, yeah, totally.
With headless commerce, you can create a really smooth and enjoyable experience for your customers.
Okay, so it's all about like speed and ease of use.
Yeah, and personalization, too.
Oh, right, we talked about that. So like you can tailor the experience to each individual customer.
Exactly, and that's what people expect nowadays. They want to feel like they're being treated as individuals.
Makes sense. So we've talked a lot about the theory of headless commerce, but are there any like real world examples of companies that are actually using this successfully?
Oh, absolutely. Tons of them. But one really great example is Zara.
Zara, the clothing company.
That's the one they went headless a while back, and they've seen some amazing results.
Like what?
Well, for starters, they were able to implement a lot of personalized features, like recommending products based on your past purchases and things like that.
Okay, so they're really using that personalization aspect.
Yeah, and they also integrated augmented reality into their app so you can actually see what clothes would look like on you before you buy them.
Wow, that's so cool. I mean, I can see how that would really boost sales.
It did. They saw a 30% increase in their conversion rates after going headless.
That's huge.
It is. And they were also able to roll out new features much faster, and they became way more adaptable to changes in the market.
Okay, so flexibility and speed, that seems to be like a recurring theme here.
It is. And all of this led to a 20% growth in their overall sales.
Wow, that's incredible. So Zara is like a real success story for headless commerce.
Yeah, they really are a great example of how this approach can pay off.
So, okay, let me see if I've got this straight. Headless commerce is basically about taking your online store and splitting it into two parts. The front end, which is what the customers see, and the back end, which handles all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And these two parts communicate with each other through an API.
Yeah, that's a perfect summary.
And the benefits of this are like tons of flexibility in design and development. the ability to easily integrate new technologies like AR, personalize the customer experience, potentially reduce costs, and become more adaptable to changes in the market.
You got it. And all of this can lead to some pretty impressive results like we saw with Zara.
Right. So basically, if you're looking to scale your business and create an amazing experience for your customers, headless commerce is definitely something to consider.
Absolutely. It's the future of e-commerce.
So as you're thinking about the future of your business and how you want to grow, think about this. How could a more flexible, personalized, and future-proof approach to e-commerce give your business a real edge, something that would set you apart from the competition?
That's a great question for everyone listening to think about.
Thanks for tuning in to the Deep Dive.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.